I have a confession to make. But first, let me ask you something. Think of someone in your life who is not here right now, someone you're missing. It might be someone you won't see for a while, or maybe someone you'll never see again. Think back to that last time you were smiling with that person, laughing, doing dumb, stupid stuff, even stuff that didn't really matter. Wouldn't you do anything just to spend one more minute with that person? One more moment that you could be together? I have a confession to make. Today, we're still in Canopia. Because I feel like I can't really call myself the king of builders if I just run away, leaving a city half finished. Today, we're going to build like crazy and try and fill out the rest of Canopia to a point where I feel like I can really call it a city.
Castles, cities, flying ships. The king of builders, Bill Designer, crafted all these and more, and his dying words were sealed in legend.
You can strike me down, but the king of builders never dies. I left every block I own together in one chunk, and someday a new king will find them.
Centuries later, many say this legend is just a fairy tale. But now, one builder ventures out alone to prove them all wrong.
Let's set out for adventure in a world like no other. The empty map of treasure, what we dream we can discover. Let's roam free, set your course for majesty. The king of builders.
Alright, I don't really have a plan. We just gotta go for it. First, I'm gonna grab something that we have stored up in the bedroom. You might remember a little sample we took in episode 2, I think it was. And it's time for us to use that sample. Here is the sample, the cutting we took of the mushroom tree. Okay. Really don't want to mix that up with any other leaves. Could be a problem. Okay. Then we're going to go over here. I have a little, like, mushroom growing area where I've been growing some red mushrooms. If there's any feds watching, that was a joke. Hey, that guy just cured cancer over there? Whoa, you should go check that out. So here's my little area. I like to keep it nice and dark in here, but oh yeah, nice big harvest. All right, and I have a decent little spot that we can plant it over here. Let's go here. Okay, throw in mushrooms. Mushroom tree leaf. Hold on. I forgot something. Here we go. Of course I gotta have some redstone. There we go. Cover it up. And I feel like it's still gonna take probably a while to grow. So let's go ahead and plant something else. This one we're going to plant in the water. Right over here. I'll just... over here. Make a little L shape. Alright. And then... carefully, without falling off. Right there. One right here. One right here. All right. And get this out of the way. So, what is it that I just planted? Let me explain to you about the two new species we're going to be introducing to Canopia. So, let's explain what those pods that just dropped in the water are. You've heard of cattails, but prepare yourself for lion tails. This is you looking up in shock and amazement. Lion tails are quite similar in shape to cattails, but they're about 50 times the size. So those pods that dropped in the water were lion tail pods, and lion tails are interesting because they're actually hollow on the inside. So they make a great place for birds and stuff to nest. But we're not going to let any birds nest in our lion tails. No, we're going to use them to make money because these lion tails are going to be the shopping center for Canopia. Now, we also brought out the sample of the mushroom tree. So it's like a big tree, but it's got little mushrooms in it. We're going to build this similar to the penthouse tree, kind of put some doors, some balcony. Oh, what the heck was that? Whoa, that was fast. Now that I think about it, I didn't even give these any redstone. That's kind of weird. Well, anyway, our lion tails are grown, so let's go ahead and grab some supplies and start building. There we go. And let's get to it. While I'm putting this build together, I want to talk about something I've been thinking about recently. I think it's pretty interesting. So I saw this interview recently with this band that I like, and the interviewer asked them a question about one of their songs and what it meant, which might be a bit of a faux pas as an interviewer, but regardless of that, they asked them about what the song meant, and what the band said is, we don't really believe in the idea of there being one correct interpretation of our lyrics. We think that whatever the listener gets out of it, that's good and that's valid, or whatever. Something like that. And I had two opposing thoughts about that. Because on one hand, I was like, that's a little bit silly, it's a little bit dumb, but I also was like based. So let me explain both of those. I thought it was a bit silly because the idea that a listener can just have like any different interpretation of the lyrics and that's fine. Well, I guess it's fine to have whatever interpretation you come away with, but I feel like there has to be a starting point. I feel like the song should start and the songwriter knows what they were saying with the lyrics. If you come away with a different message from the song, I still think it's like valid and it's a way of experiencing the song, but I still feel like there has to be a baseline. And maybe in this case, the band who was being interviewed just didn't really want to like spoil the magic, as it were. Because I think over explaining your own music could kind of spoil the magic for some people. If you write a book with a really deep message and you just come out in an interview and say the message is this, you're kind of like reducing that complicated deep message to like a single sentence and like doing yourself a real disservice. So maybe it was a little silly of them to say that, but maybe they were just protecting the magic, as it were. But I also thought pretty based of them to say that because I kind of don't love lyrics in music. I find that lyrics are pretty polarizing, where some people care a lot about lyrics and will look at the lyrics first when they're looking at a song. And some people are more like me, where they're like, this song has lyrics, I've just been vibing. And I do tend to be on that side because, well, I'll explain why. It's not that I don't have songs where I will also obsess over the lyrics. There's definitely some songs that have really touched me, and I'm like, oh, that's an amazing thing they said in that song. But I feel like the music itself speaks to me way more than any words could. That's why I don't really tend to care too much about lyrics. I've seen like YouTube channels that would it's kind of like Cinema Sins but for like music where they're just going through a pop song and they're being like, this line is dumb. This line is dumb." And I remember watching the video and being like, "This is so dumb." They didn't talk about the music a single time. Now, it's just, it's for entertainment and it's not actually meant to be a in-depth critique. At least I hope so. And so the lyrics are something that's objective, that's right there on the surface, that's easy to talk about. So obviously that's going to be the lowest hanging fruit for that kind of video. But it gave me the perception maybe that some people don't even really have like that musical knowledge to even start to pick apart what is good or not good about the actual notes of the song. And when I say music, generally I'm referring to the notes, the chords, the rhythms, everything that makes the song more than just a poem. I don't know. I guess how can I really say that lyrics are the cherry on top when someone could come away thinking, well, what I really like is the message of the song and the like harmony and melody and everything is just sort of the cherry on top of that that kind of brings it all home. It is sort of a bias because I like to write music, so I know just how much work and detail has to go into the actual creation of the music and notes part, and I don't tend to write lyrics. So I'm like, you are taking for granted the crazy amount of work that's gone into making the actual music part of the song and just listening to like the little text that's on top of it that's just been thrown on there at the last second is kind of how it feels to me. It feels like it's like if you're a chef and you gave them a sandwich and you got the little toothpick olive on the top, and you didn't have to put that toothpick olive on there. It's still a sandwich without the toothpick olive or not. Same as, a song is, you can write a song with no lyrics. You can just either have no voice in it at all or just saying la 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 la. Like you don't have to write lyrics on a song. They go, in my opinion, they go on top of everything else. So you have this sandwich, you put the little olive on top, and the person eats it, and they say, "Man, that was a really good olive." And you're like, "What about the sandwich?" And they're like, "Well, this the sandwich is like it just really helped me to enjoy the olive more." And you're like, "What? I I spent 99% of the time doing that, making the sandwich, cooking the meat, and getting the cheese at all the right temperature and melty and whatever. And you're here like saying the olive was good, but I don't know. That's kind of my bias against lyrics, but I still feel like I do have some ground objectively because you can write music with no lyrics, and a lot of music has no lyrics. Like 99% of classical music, at least classical music I've heard. Uh, the Brandenburg Concerto, last time I checked, no lyrics. If you write music without lyrics, that's just music. If you write lyrics without music, that's not music anymore. That's just a poem. And I guess I feel like if you like the lyrics more than the music, shouldn't you just go read poetry? I mean, you can see a lot of really cool poems that aren't limited by the typical structure of like rhymes that 99% of songs will use. There's a lot of really cool poems that don't use rhyme at all. In fact, there's a chance that it's the majority of poetry, honestly. Now that I think about it, most of the poems I ever read did not rhyme. So if you don't really like prioritize the music, I'm like, well, why even have the music? Just read poetry. I think for a lot of people it feels like to me, and this is why I get kind of upset. It feels like they are just coming from a place of ignorance in saying that they care about the lyrics more. It's like you think you care about the lyrics more because you can see the lyrics written down. But if you actually understood just how much the music is doing for you, you would realize. To me, people don't realize how much meaning is in the music. The only way you can kind of get people to realize it is you play them an instrumental song and they're saying, wow, that's really powerful. That really made me think of this or that. And you're like, see, you don't need lyrics. I don't know. So, what team are you? Are you a lyric lover or a based lyric ignorer like me? Okay, so I've finished building all of the shops and I've stocked them fully. And I also decided on a name for this place. I think we could call this the Whisker Lake Market. That's Whisker Lake, and that's the market. And Whisker, you know, cat tail, lion tail, you get it. Anyway, each of these three different lion tails has a different kind of merchandise inside. And I tried to get all the essentials you would want if you were living here in Canopia. So let's start with the first one. So first of all, this first room is the checkout. Every single item you can buy throughout all of Whisker Lake Market, you're going to check out here and pay here. But there would be other, what would you call them? Associates that you could find throughout each of the different lion tails. So this lion tail is the groceries. So like all kinds of food stuff. So here you have some like fresh plants, some like salads. You got all kinds of maybe either spices or like different kinds of crackers. And you, hey, hold on. Okay, pause the tour. Look at that. Look at that right there. So, yeah, I guess it finished growing, but there's something wrong with this. This is not a mushroom tree. I think I must have got the ratio a little bit messed up. Oh. Ow. Yeah, that is not a mushroom tree. That's a tree mushroom. Well, regardless, we can still put the government building in there. So, whatever. I guess I'll just get my measurements better next time. Anyway, where were we? We were just checking out the grocery market. So, lots of produce type stuff in this area. And then upstairs, we have a little bit of bakery. So, we got some fresh cakes and like baguettes and rolls and all that kind of stuff. And actually, some frozen stuff is in here. Whatever kind of different frozen meats or ice cream, all that good stuff. And here you'd have a bunch of different baking supplies, sugar, chocolate chips, flour, all that kind of stuff. And that's everything that's in the grocery market. So the next building is something I thought would be essential for living in Canopia, a fabric store. So here we have a bunch of rolls of different colored fabric. It's all kind of like gray and black and stuff on this floor. And you get this really cool pattern. And honestly, I am feeling like an idiot for not already having this clothing pattern on some of my clothes, because that is sweet. And then upstairs, we have other fabrics in more bright rainbow colors. Red, orange, yellow, the colors of the rainbow. And out here on the balcony, just to sort of like advertise that this is a fabric store. Wow, that really changes the view. We have this little like poster of a dapper gentleman going about his business, going along on his way, and you can sort of see it from down there on the rail line to kind of drawing customers. Hey, come here. You could look like this guy. And then the top floor of this fabric market is my absolute favorite because I tried to make a mannequin and it didn't turn out good. It turned out amazing. Look look at this. Oh ho 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 ho. Look at this. Look at this mannequin. It just looks so smug. These are like, like supposed to be the arms of the mannequin posed and there's the face and the pose is just so perfect. Um and then other than that, up here we have this huge sewing machine. So maybe you could custom order different garments from this fabric store and maybe like show up and pick them up and all that. And then if you want to do your own sewing, there'd be all kinds of different threads and other fabric and clothes making supplies on these shelves here. So that's everything in the fabric store. Our last store is another absolute essential, a hardware store. And I really packed them in tight. I mean, these lion tails are massive plants, but it's still really hard to fit a building inside of them. And I mean, you can see my epic space saving staircases that I've designed here just to try and fit any kind of staircase into these places. Um, it's tight, but I packed in as much stuff as I possibly could, and this hardware store is no exception. So in this first room, we have all kinds of tools. We got a saw and a mallet and like shears and all the stuff you can buy. Some sort of IKEA type beat. We got some table, chairs, uh, storage chest, or even shelves to store stuff on, so you can sort of make your house into a home. And then up here we have a lot more like building supplies. So we have all these different tools for construction. We have gravel. You can use that for sort of making a path or filling in like the foundations of a fence or whatever. Well, not really foundations, but you know what I mean. We have this, which could be a bandsaw. You got ladders. You got more of these tools. Yeah, these ones are really useful. Definitely use these for lots of stuff. Um, and then up on the top floor, uh, we have some appliances. So in addition to having like some like you got some 2x4s here you can pick up, or like some rope hanging down from the ceiling, but we also have cooking ware. So like here's a little uh, stove and uh, washing machine, dishwasher, stove and dishwasher combo you could buy. We have a little smoker here, a little vent at the top for the smoke to come out. We have like a smaller model of the grill that I have over there on my penthouse tree. And we also have this here, uh, a piston, because sometimes you need a piston. And that is pretty much everything that we have here in the Whisker Lake Market. And while you're here shopping, you can get all the essentials you need, as well as getting a very breathtaking view of the natural Canopia landscape. I've never had a more scenic shopping experience in my life. So, uh, we don't have a moment to waste. As you can see, um, that thing, the mushroom tree, or as it actually turns out, the tree mushroom, is grown. So We got to go ahead and grab all the supplies we need to build the government building and get right to building it.
The King of Builders.
Oh man, this isn't very fast. Ow. Bro, I do not have time for this. Very efficient, genius railway design that I made. Definitely not janky as hell. Boop, 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 boop. Don't really need that. Huh, we're gonna need more glass. Oh, so check this out. I installed a little terminal down here, so we don't have to go all the way upstairs to take a message. A chinchamer, a ch, a chin, a chincham, a chinchamitra 493. Sorry if I'm not saying that right. Says, "This feels so fresh, bro. Why did you decide to make the series? I'm curious." Thank you, a chinchamitra 493. So it seems like we're going to need a little bit more glass to do the build. So I'm going to head over and show you guys the sandstone quarry that I've been using near Canopia. And while I do that, I'd be happy to answer your question. So that's an interesting question. Why did I decide to make the series? Because if you ask what inspired it, I could say things like, oh, I liked Shadow of Israfel when I was younger. I like Hermitcraft, and sometimes they have kind of fun story elements to their server. But why did I decide to make this series? So I got the idea for the series like about 3 or 4 months ago, and have sort of been working on it ever since. But as far as why I made this series, I feel like I'd have to go back, way back. Like 10, 15 years ago, something like that. I wasn't always a creative person. In fact, I considered myself to not be a creative person at all for a long time. And, well, who knows what a creative person is, really, but I didn't naturally have any kind of talent or affinity for art for a very long time. But over time, that started to change. I started learning to write music about 10 years ago. I had a little game that was kind of like Mario Paint, and I would add notes in there and make crappy little songs that were like 1 minute maximum. And from there, I never really stopped. And I started making music with like MuseScore and now FL Studio. And I've come from not even really liking music until I was something like 14 or 15 years old to being able to produce fairly good sounding tracks in FL Studio. But at the same time, I've never really done anything with it. I've never released singles or albums or anything. I haven't done any live performances or anything. That's just something I do in my free time. I've always doodled and enjoyed that. But now I've gotten to actually trying to grow my skills in art and be able to visually compose things in a pleasing way at a level that, well, I'm still not good at it. I'm way beyond where I ever thought I would be. For a very long time, I wanted to write something. I thought, if I could write a book, I could make a whole story and world all just by myself. And that sounded really fun. And I have had many ideas for stories and books that have never gone anywhere. Never even gotten to like the first draft process. Just outlining things, and that's fun. But, well, with all these art things, I began to feel a lot of doubt because I was like, well, you sure like messing around with music, but you don't really want to turn it into any actual album or release or anything like that. You sure like doodling, but you don't actually want to do something like making a comic or anything. And you always like to write drafts of stories, and or not even write drafts. You always like to like outline stories and think about what the world would be like and what the characters would be like, but you never actually write. So I begin to feel like all this art stuff is just kind of a waste of time. But I really believe it's not a waste of time. I think that for me, art is my last defense against living in a boring world. I'm not saying that the world is boring. To me, the world is very exciting and fun because there's art in it. If you look through my photos that I've taken over the past 5 or 10 years, it would seem that I've lived a pretty boring, kind of depressing life. It would seem that I haven't really done anything. But if you were to look through my library of books and TV shows and albums that I've experienced. Ow. Yeah. Sheesh. Oh, ooh. Anyway, guy was saying. Ow. So what I was saying was, if you looked at my photos, they would paint a pretty bleak picture of my life. But if you looked at all the books and games and movies and TV shows and comics and all that that I've experienced, it would paint a very different picture of my life. You would see that my life was full of interesting things and out of this world experiences. To me, that's really important. I think some people would say, you should grow up. You should stop living your life through escapist fantasies. You have to live in the real world. And I'm like, I pay my taxes. I go to work. I like, make sure everything's hunky dory with my 401k, like, what else am I supposed to do? I think that hobbies are seriously underrated because once you have all your stuff taken care of, you have your bills paid and whatever, what else are you supposed to do? You have fun. That's what life is sort of about to me. I don't mean like just throwing your life away and just, having crazy, fun, wild, destructive habits all the time. I'm talking about doing things that interest you and are meaningful to you. Like people who go out fishing on the weekends, it's not like they're fishing for survival. They don't have to get those fish. If they did, they'd probably use a totally different method than just throwing a fishing rod in the water. If you had to get fish, you would, do it in a different way. Professional fishermen out on the ocean fish in a very different way from people who do it as a hobby. But the point isn't to get fish. Not really. The point is to have fun or have a meaningful experience, if that's a better way of saying it. So, art, in my opinion, is the opposite of a waste of time. It's, to me, the most meaningful thing in my whole life. And so, it felt strange to go through life having this relationship with art and never really putting anything out there into the world. I've thought of idea after idea, and like I said, they never really went anywhere. They were all half baked, and I gave up on them really early on. There was nearly never any plan for how I was going to get to the finish line in the first place. I mean, it was just daydreaming. But I don't know. I guess I had dipped my toes into making Minecraft videos on YouTube once, and it was doable. I was able to put out videos, and I was happy with them, at least mostly happy with them. And so I guess in the back of my head, I knew, hey, that's something I can actually do. And it's nice because Minecraft is sort of an inherently creative game, at least the way that a lot of people play it, especially if you're more of a builder like me. It's about imagination. And what I love about Minecraft videos is that you can step out of your own mind for a little bit and step into someone else's imagination and see their world. And so I really, really value that. There's some Minecraft channels, when they come out with a video, I'm like, hell yeah. You are saving the world right now. It feels like I look at them like they're a firefighter or something. Like they've just saved me from a burning building. Because like I would be so devastated if they stopped making videos. And like it's crazy because like I didn't like pay them or anything. I guess they get like AdSense or whatever, but like they just be making videos that are really good and giving them to me for no reason. And I love that. I love that so much. And I had this realization that maybe I could do that. And so I began to get this idea for this series where I could wrap together all the different artistic skills I have, at least for the most part, into one creative project and feasibly actually put it out there on the internet. What really made me decide to make this series is that I realized that I could do it. And I had this moment of realization where I thought, oh, that's a cool idea. That's a really fun idea. That would be fun. Just like I always do with my daydreaming. And then some voice in my head said, you can do it, but you have to do it now or it never, ever is going to exist. And I was like, that's totally right. This is the only time in my life where I'm going to be able to do this in this way. If I just sort of let the idea sit there, the moment will pass. I won't be as interested in it. I'll have some other responsibility taking up my time. And it'll just be another entry on that list of things that I totally thought I was going to do and then gave up on. And I said, no more. No more of that list. I'm making it. I'm doing it. Whatever it takes. And that ethos is something I've carried into my determination to become the king of builders. It's truly been an adventure to actually try and make this a reality. It's also been way harder than I expected. But at the same time, it's amazing to know that that voice was right, that I can do it, and I have been doing it. And it's like life makes so much more sense somehow when these skills I've been honing for 10 years or more are actually useful for something that I can put out there in the world and have people experience. There's just something really rewarding about being able to invite people into another world of my own creation. And so the reason why I made this series, number one, is because I could. Honestly, the difference between achieving your dreams and daydreaming is really just having a specific plan, a step-by-step recipe where you can say, I can actually do that. If I do this, that, and the other, I will end up here. And, well, it's not without its hiccups. And there are things that have had to change. There are things that aren't quite the way I imagine them. But it's so powerful to realize that you can make something a reality. But you do have to also realize that you better work on it now and you better work on it hard, or it's gonna be far, far away before you can ever hope of chasing that dream. So, if you find yourself being a daydreamer like me, keep your eyes open and pay attention. Because when you see that path, when you see that path forward, it's time to hit the ground and start running as soon as possible. In fact, I wish I had started sooner, but that's the kind of advice you can hear anyone say. I guess it doesn't really make that much sense until you do it yourself. But hopefully that answers your question and maybe was slightly interesting to you. It's done. The office of the mayor is complete, and I'm pretty happy with it. The space that I was working with was very strange, but I think I did the best that I could with it. Man, get me off this damn... Here we are. So, as you can see, I've added some diagonal windows, diagonal in both directions, diagonal upward and sideways. It just actually felt like it made the most sense as far as what I could do with the building. Anyway, here is the entrance, and we have a little waiting room here. So we got a TV, some books, we got a place to sit, and we have a bathroom here too. And down in the bathroom, we have, it's a little bit lower because this is in one of the side little sprouts of the tree mushroom. Got a nice big sink, and it's big for a reason. We'll get to that later. We have a toilet here, nice fancy white stone toilet, some books for reading, nice painting, some air vents, and that's pretty much everything there is in this outside waiting room. And then through this door is the office of the mayor. So we have the desk here, of course. Here's the seat where the mayor sits, and some little chairs for people who are meeting with the mayor. We have some documents here stored on the side, little drawers and shelves, even some documents kept right here in this chest, and a little quote on the back from that message we found when we first found Canopia: flowers to heal the heart on every bridge. And then, of course, you have these big round windows. I wish that we were a little taller, because then you can see through this window, you get a really good view of the big, gigantic cactus. And from this view, you get a pretty decent view of the cloud birch. But it's pretty simple. It's a pretty small little space. There's one more special feature, though, that I need you guys not to tell anyone about this. This is a big secret. But since this is a government building, I wanted to make sure it was safe. I wanted to make sure we have a high level of security. In fact, there used to be a closet over here. I actually covered it up with this book. I filled it in and covered it up with this bookcase because I thought, that closet would be a great place to hide in if I wanted to assassinate the mayor. So I got rid of that. And beyond that, I've also added in a little secret functionality. So this nice patterned wood wall over here isn't just for show. And frankly, if you know anything about redstone, you might have found it to be a bit suspicious. Here's one way to use pistons, right? Make them decorational, but actually not, because in the event that the mayor's life was in danger, there is a secret shelter, a secret bunker underneath the mayor's office. So first we can close this iron door, lock anyone out, and then if we unplug the TV, something happens over here. These pull back to reveal this ladder chute, and we can pull this lever to close it back off again. And now we're closed off down here in the bunker. We have a fridge with some food in it. Got an actual dispenser, so it gives us a food. Yummy. Got a bed, little calendar here, bookshelf, painting to remind you what outside looks like because there's no windows. Some supplies like a bow and arrow, got a book and quill, and stuff like that you might want down here. And I put some of the random stuff I didn't need while I was building down here. And also there is a bathroom over here. I suppose you don't really need a door to divide the bathroom from the other room because this is a bunker, but it doesn't hurt to be there. Got a toilet right here and a sink. This bunker is, you're going to be stinky if you stay in this bunker for too long because there's no bath or shower, but I mean, you can sort of wash your hair in the sink. I don't know. I've never done that, but you know, it's better than dying. So that is the secret bunker underneath the mayor's office. I had a little bit of trouble with the redstone. It's very basic redstone. So when I pull this lever, the piston on top will push out, but the bottom piston is a little bit slow. It doesn't really get what to do. And you don't want to pull that lever. That's going to hard lock it forever. So what I decided to do, instead of what I could do is I could place a block in there, it would push it out, and I break the block like this. But I was thinking, is there a way to do it that doesn't use up durability? And so I came up with this idea. Little water block. Put a water block in there, the piston immediately deletes it, and then this big sink in the bathroom is big on purpose because it's an infinite water source. So that way I can open and close this as much as I want to without any durability or anything being lost. So that is the mayor's office. And with that, we have quite a bit of functional buildings in Canopia. We have a restaurant, a bar, a hotel, a market, a little bit of residential area over here, and an office for the mayor. I mean, if there was a little bit more residential area, that would be nice, but that's something that can be added as you go. It's not like there's nowhere to stay. You could stay in that hotel for sure. In fact, hotels and apartments, I mean, really just depends on how you're selling it, right? We could sell those as apartments. So Canopy is feeling pretty complete, but there is one more thing I would like to do before we leave things off. I was looking around and man, the view around here has gotten so nice. Look at that. Nice pink mushroom across the way and the cattail market, or what is that called? Whisker Lake Market over there. Yeah, yeah. Whisker Lake Market, the mayor's office, the giant cactus. I don't have a cool name for it because it's actually three different businesses in one. The view around here has gotten very nice, but I think it could be just a little bit better if we spread around some of these plants a little bit more. I was thinking we could take some of the rail flowers and place them not on the railway line, but just sort of around randomly to kind of spread more of that color around. So I'm going to go ahead and find some spots that would look nice to plant more rail flowers around Canopia. Maybe add a little bit more grass and flowers around. If I can find spots to throw mushrooms, I'll do that. Let's just bring the foliage to maximum. And once I've done that, I would say we can call Canopia a complete city. So, like I've done before, we're going to kind of take everything in stages. First, I'm going to dig all the holes. Put one hole here, one here, one here, and one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. I think one here would be good. One right here, one right here, and then one more right here. Now we're going to do all of the wool. Bunch in here, put some there, some in here, some in here, and in here. Some in here, and in here. Over here, right here, here, finally, here. Now, we're going to stick in all the flowers. And then after that's going to be the redstone. Flower there, one here, one there, flower here, and here, one there, and another one over here, one here, another one here, one here. What is going on? Oh, what the? All the rail flowers are grown. But I didn't even add any redstone. No. Surely it can't be. I gotta check something, guys. Give me a second. Okay. Okay, get out of here. Okay. The water in. Okay. Oh no. It's reacting to the redstone. Maybe it's just a dud. Like a, crazy dud door that's just going off for no reason, right? Oh no. We gotta get out of here right now. We gotta go. So, you guys know how I was using redstone to kind of speed up the growth of all the plants? Oh man, I gotta just... anything valuable needs to go. Sword, okay, yes. Pants, sure, I'll put on the pants. Nothing else is valuable in here. Okay, gunpowder. So, basically, I may have messed up a little bit, and the groundwater of Canopia might be a wee bit contaminated a lot with redstone. Brown wool is good. I don't know. Iron, gold, coal, not that one. Coal, diamonds, clay is good. Mossy cobblestone. Oh gosh, I have to throw out something. Brown mushrooms, bye. Okay. Let's see. Wood. Why do I have leaves? I don't need leaves. Okay. So basically, I would say, if my calculations are correct, we have about a minute to get out of Canopia before things get really crazy. So with the redstone seeping into the groundwater, the germination of different plant DNA is beginning to spike at an unprecedented level. This was why they said you shouldn't use too much redstone in your garden. Okay, pants on my legs, boat in my hand, compass. Alright, let's go. Oh gosh, it's starting. Okay, just keep on going. Keep on going. Oh, is that enough? Ow! Oh, real flower. Okay, we gotta go. We gotta go right now. We gotta go. Go faster. Go faster. You stupid boat. I hate you. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Here we go. Man, that was not the send-off I was expecting to go with. I was thinking of, like, fireworks. I wrote some signs and stuff. I was gonna read them. I don't even remember what I wrote. Whatever. Can't go back now, so... whatever. Let's say this. Canopia is rebuilt. I'm happy leaving it off where it is. And, I guess you could say it's really alive again. So that means it's time for us to move on to our next adventure. So let's go. I'll see you there. What we leave behind is not a building or a town, but a story carved in time eternal, waiting to be found. Though cities crumble where they stand, a dream can never end. For in a builder's heart, Canopia lives again.